Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So all our life, everything right now is online because of quarantine. So I want to talk about internet etiquette, things do's and don'ts of what people need to do online. And then I want to give you guys some encouraging words for being online. So you know what? Let's begin. Alright guys, I'm just going to jump into it. Number one is check your email. Check your email. You need at least decency to respond back to somebody at least 48 hours. I personally, I like to do 24, and it's great if you can do 24, but I, the top one, where I'm just like, what is 48 hours? Especially if you are an important necessity. Like, if you're a teacher and you have a question, or if you're
part of a group project.
Okay, so number one thing is you need to check your email, especially if you're in a group project. If you care about your grade or anything, I can't fathom. I can't. And I understand, I'm in a group project with somebody, and we're all of us, three of us are doing really good, and there's two outsiders, right? And it came to the point where one of my group members actually called her out on one of the Zooms, or just didn't call her out, but was like, hey, you're part of our group project. And she was like, oh, no. And she was like, yeah, I'm in a project with Rachel. And because she didn't know who else was in her project. And I was like, yeah, they're a part of the project too. And I was like, did you get my email? And she was like,
oh, I don't even check my email.
and I was just like, it's very important for you to check your email. If someone needs to get a hold of you or anything, it's extremely important. Extremely important. Alright, number two, I want to dive in it, is Zooms. People need to know internet etiquette with Zooms. Okay, if you're not talking, turn your mic off. Turn it off. Because we can hear so much in the background. Just turn it off. Second is when you need to speak, you need to turn off and you have to look at your surroundings. In the sense of, is if a TV is going on and you're trying to ask a question, we can't hear you, we hear the TV. We can't hear you. Not saying, I've had this, there's this lady and she has a child and her child's always like, okay, that's fine, there's a difference. But when you have too many sounds going on, or if you can't, let's say you have a crying baby, or it's so busy and you're trying to speak, we cannot hear you. We can't. So what you need to do is type out your question so we can at least see it and answer your question, because I think everyone should have a question. But it's in the sense of, let's give you an example, especially. So if we can't hear you, the teacher's gonna be like, I can't hear you, say it again. And then they say it again, but then everyone gets frustrated. Like the person trying to ask a question who can't be heard because of the background noise, she gets frustrated, the teacher gets frustrated, and that discourages the person herself. She doesn't want to ask any more questions. She doesn't want to know because no one can hear her because of the background noise. If you can't control your background settings, maybe just do a message or an email to them so they can answer your questions. Because I see it, people get discouraged to ask questions, but there's other ways to do it. So always be aware of your surroundings when you're doing any kind of Zoom. Whew, okay, this one might be one of my biggest pet peeves. Be aware of people's time and energy. You need to be aware of that. In the sense of, I'm not an SI, I'm just a regular student. People, just because I talk during Zooms, I don't know what I'm saying, but people think I'm confident. I don't know what I'm saying. So because they think I'm confident, they are they want help, and I'm totally down for helping them. It's not it's not my job, but it is my job, because if someone asks me for help, I'm gonna do everything to help them. But the one thing that I can't is, you gotta be aware of people's time. If you're gonna ask for help, you gotta ask for it's on a different time. So we have a test coming up. Actually, the test is today, so we have a test coming up, and this girl needs help, right? She texted me last night at 1 a.m. asking for help in the morning for the test. First, whenever you do something, you gotta think of how that looks with your character. one thing. Like, how does that portray you to somebody else? That's the one thing you need to be aware of. Whatever you do, how do you want to portray yourself? Because that's not, maybe that's not what you're trying to portray, but everything looks at like that point. We figured it out, and I'm gonna actually help her before the test so we can study together. Like, I can help her out with before things. I figured it out, but some people are not like some people won't help you out, and you gotta be aware of what you're doing and what it shows. Like, you need to show your dedication. Texting someone for help at 1 a.m. doesn't really show your dedication. It shows that you don't know what you're doing and you're gonna fail. But if you texted maybe like a week ago and you don't have tests and need help, and schedule between people's schedule, that's the difference, and it shows the different level of maturity, and like you want help. So it's whatever you do, be aware of someone else's time if they're going to help you. Alright guys, those are just the 3 really important things about internet etiquette. Like, oh, I can't. Alright, before I let you guys go, there's just some words of like wisdom that I want to leave you guys off with. Like, doing online is new. It's extremely new to a lot of people, like in anything, and it's hard. But it's very important on some things. Like, no one's gonna help you if you can't help yourself. Not gonna happen. You can't become a victim to like succumb into like the sadness because you don't know it's new. Because change is gonna happen. There's gonna be change, but people get upset with that and don't embrace the change. They don't. This is a new change for a lot of people, and what I mean is there's resources out there, and if you don't get them, that's fine. But why become down and be a victim like that? You need to change your mindset and that saying. And another thing too that I don't think people are aware of is, if you have this is especially to school, if you have a question like during a Zoom or something and you're not comfortable asking that question, that like find someone who can ask it for you. I don't know how many times, like, my mom's always told me since I was little, if I have a question, ask. And I'm fine. I will ask you a question. I'll be so stupid. I'll be like, no, boo, 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 boo. And that's fine. And I get that some people are not fine. But I honestly, it's the bravest thing to ask for help. In the sense of, I remember it clearly. I've had like so many people pass me notes in class to ask their question out loud. And I think that's brave of them. Because at first they're taken out of their comfort zone to even ask a question, and then they're gonna have someone to ask someone else to ask their question for them because they can't. Like, that is so brave of them. And then in the sense of like, find someone who's comfortable talking, maybe during a Zoom or something, and maybe ask them a question. Just like that, like ask them a question. And so I think that's very important. I just want to reiterate, like, online is hard for a lot of people. Even me, I usually go into class, but you just need to take what I said, like internet etiquette and people's time, and just be aware that no one's gonna help you if you can't help yourself. You need to take all those things, and at the end of the tunnel there will be light. So thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell and that like button, and I'll see you guys next time.